Maguri is a 40-something-year-old woman who is a single mother, divorced, but very happily so. And the reason I say that is very important for what I'll tell you next. I was born, bred, and buttered in Bulawayo. This is where I grew up, but I have learned in other places, Chinhoyi, Harare. I'm a proud graduate of NAST, and that is my academic background. And my writing background, I have been writing since the age of 10. I just never felt confident enough to be able to put that writing into something that is tangible until now. And most specifically because, my mother died before she met my daughters. And in some of the writing, I'm highly inspired by my mother. I believe she was a queen, and a lot of people would definitely benefit from some of the wisdom that she left me. And I'm hoping it's wisdom that I am going to be able to impart in the stories and the writing that I want to do. I also hope to touch as many young girls that were just like me, growing up with the same kind of insecurities that I did, and hopefully they will reach goals much higher than mine, and they'll be inspired to do much better than I ever will. I think the stories find me. The book that I have just written, Picking Ants, was something that I started writing in 2004. And the title was there. The story has changed over time, but it was something that refused to go away. And when the pandemic came, it was my opportunity not to just sit in the house and feel sorry for myself, but to finally get that damn story out. And so it's out, and people can read it and take what they want from it. When people start talking and start questioning, this is the most important thing. There are so many things that we stereotype in our society that are very harmful for us as women. And I hope that the dialogue brings about a lot of self-introspection, and hopefully women can take it easy on themselves and just, live better lives if this is possible. But please, just live better lives. That's like I said, the message is definitely about women, but it's not anti-anything. It's more or less about self-awareness, The story itself talks about people who come from a place of privilege and interacting with people in their own environment and realizing they don't really know that much about each other. And it's true, we live in the same Zimbabwe, but we don't know that much about each other. We have so many stereotypes, we have so many things that we assume about each other. We've made it normal in our society to hide things that are very painful and very disastrous and dangerous. And when women react, we are often blamed for the reaction, and no one talks about what happened to get there. And so when we have an opportunity to dialogue, maybe we can start talking about these issues that we keep hiding, that we push underneath the carpet and smile and say, everything's okay, it's fine, But maybe let's start talking about those things. Maybe we can help each other, we can heal each other. All it takes is a conversation, I think. They've been inspired by what I've experienced and what I've watched other people experience, because I don't live alone. There's other people that have experienced similar things to me. And I now work in a place where I'm surrounded by people from different environments. And by being surrounded by these other people, I've come to respect the Zimbabwean woman very much and realize that she's very strong. She has put up with quite a lot that a lot of other women do not put up with. And she has looked down on herself for far too long. I don't think she needs to do that. But those are the inspirations that drive me to write about us, to celebrate women. Let's celebrate each other's victories for once, and start looking at each other and saying, you know what? You walked out of that bad relationship, you go girl, you know? Instead of saying, you know, I mean, let's change that conversation, you know, to be more positive, because life is hard enough. We don't need to be so hard on ourselves. It was inspired by my brother, who is a cretin in the worst of situations, but I love him very much. And he sees me sitting outside, and there were these things called micro braids at this time. We loved these things called micro braids. And the hairdresser would have to take, I think, 3 hairs on your head. It took the whole day. And you sat there, and she took 3 hairs, and then she twisted them, and then she took another 3 hairs, and then my brother's like, she's picking ants on your head. I mean, she's literally just picking ants. And I thought, how many things do we do as women where we're picking ants? It's like this useless stuff that we do that brings us so much pain, that creates so much havoc in our lives. But yet, we focus on it. Yes, it's just useless. I mean, it's just for your hair. I mean, why did I have to put myself through that? But it's what we do as women a lot of the times when we fuss over the way we look. And we want to be a certain height, a certain weight, a certain figure, a certain skin tone, your eyebrows, your ears, your whatevers always have to be perfect. And we focus so much on so many things that we are really not in control of, instead of taking the time to work on the things that we can control, which is what I believe when we are now working on things that are pretty much useless and not part of what we can control. We're picking ants. We're just trying to put order in something that really has its own kind of order. Oh, I think there are many writers who are like me, who spent a lot of time thinking, is there anyone interested in reading what I have to say? And that is the sad thing. As a writer, find what you have to say first. And that's what I've done, is I found something to say. I found something that I find passionately about, that I want to talk about, and just start writing. If it is successful, great. If it's not, so you know what, at least you tried, you know? Have your voice out there. Especially Zimbabwean women, I'm going to keep saying this because no one has heard us properly. And we certainly haven't heard each other properly. We need to start listening to each other. We need to start helping each other. We really need to start talking and having those conversations that are important for us, and not having other people continuously dictate to us what is important to us. And so any writer out there, whatever you have to say, just say it, you know? Stop holding it back. Her power was surpassed. She doesn't recognize her position in her marriage, that she is powerful in that she is loved by her spouse. Instead, she recognizes that because she cannot give birth, she cannot have children, she has a weakness. And that weakness is the one that allows her to become naive. It's her Achilles heel, because she has allowed other people to take that power from her. And that's what we do as women, isn't it? We take each other's power. We always pick out that one thing that the other woman has. You know, she can be this brilliant singer, wonderful actress, but we always have to point out, oh, but you know, she's single. Oh, but you know, she just broke up with her boyfriend. Oh, but you know what, we always have to pick out that one thing that we think, oh, that this will bring you down, this will pull you down. And in Menentle's case, it's when she's with her in-laws, she feels she has failed them because she has not produced an heir, or she has not produced a child, and she allows them to control her because of that. is fantasy, but if you look at it, the letters are from Wuhle. Wuhle is the mother. Yes, and the intention is that as you read through the letters, Portia finds her mother, because we all apparently need to find our mothers, because one thing we don't realize is your mother was a very different person before you were born. The day you were born, she became a mother. And who she was before then, you don't know that person. We all don't know that person because we were not there. So in this journey, Portia finds her mother, the woman that she was before the children came along and during the process of when the children came along. So the letters are there to help the reader go through the self-discovery with Portia as she finds her mother. Women. It's definitely aimed at women of all age groups. It's aimed at Zimbabwean women so that we can start the dialogue as women for each other, to help each other. It's aimed at men to get a little bit more understanding of us as women so that they stop, assuming so many things about us. It's also aimed at other societies, other countries, other cultures, because they have so many misconceptions about us. And I think it's high time they understood that we're intelligent and we have our own dreams and aspirations, and we're not exactly waiting to be rescued. I think what is also important is we should stop celebrating being victims, and we should start celebrating each other as survivors of different situations.